Who are you? Who do you see yourself as? How do you view your music? Why do you have these beliefs about yourself? These are questions that you might have asked yourself before, and personally, I've been asking myself them for the past year. But the thing is, something I've recently learned is that a music producer can't rise above how he sees himself. I know what you want, bro. I was and am just like you. You want to make music that whenever you listen to it, it genuinely sounds amazing. And while you probably don't make music for the validation of other people, you want to impact other people with your music. You might think your music sucks and nobody's ever gonna listen to it, and I don't want you to go down that path. This is not what all these other music production YouTubers are gonna tell you, because I haven't seen a single one talk about it like this before. Back when I first started making music, I would export my songs in FL Studio and then put them onto an SD card. And I would take that SD card and I would show my friends my music. And they thought it sucked. They told me my music sucked, it was annoying, etc. This happened to me a lot of times, and I do think it kind of messed up how I view my music and how I listened to it for a long time. And I saw myself as the kid who made bad music. Where I'm going with this is that for you, you could have had something that happened to you that causes you to think like the way you do. I can't assume anything about you, bro. But for you, it could have been your friends telling you that your music sucked. It could have been an authority figure that told you your music sucked or something like that. And when we don't actually know these limiting beliefs and they're just in the deep corner of our minds, they literally keep us from pushing through resistance. And social media has also definitely taken a toll on us. I mean, how do you think you're gonna feel when you see all these producers only showing the best parts of their lives while you're just sitting on the couch scrolling for hours instead of making music? Think about that. Like, I know I probably sound absolutely insane right now, but just think about it. Because if you were able to remove every single limiting belief that you've ever had, imagine how far you'd be right now. I acted like that and stayed like that because that's how I saw myself in my own mind. I dealt with this for so long. This is exactly why your life looks like a sine wave. You get motivated, you're making a ton of music, and then it just drops. And you're feeling like trash and you're not making any music or anything like that. And then it goes up again, you're motivated, you're making music, and it drops again. This is exactly why your mind literally puts a wall of fire or a wall of resistance so that you can't go past this point. Now, I know I probably sound crazy and insane, but you're probably realizing it now. I feel like it's just all crashing down on you, and I understand how that feels. That's exactly how it felt when I learned this. But me and you also know that it's not completely hopeless, so we can break out of it. And this is precisely why whenever you break through resistance, that you grow the most when you're uncomfortable. From what I've studied, this is a character trait of the most successful people in the world, and me and you can literally adopt this into our music production. Okay, so I'm gonna draw something out for you right now. If I had to guess, your life probably looks like a sine wave. Basically, you start making a ton of music, you're getting super motivated, like you're gonna change the world. This might last for a couple days or maybe a couple weeks, it depends on who you are. And then all of a sudden, it just drops back down within a few days. Down here, you're making no music, you feel like trash, all of that bad stuff. And at this point, you might be like, wow, this literally looks like my life. And we know how this feels, bro. Me and you, we know exactly how this feels, especially as producers. And you're probably like, well, is he gonna tell me how to break out of it? And what I say to that is, yes, I am. At least I'm gonna tell you how I did, because your mind works differently than mine. This will give you some guidelines on how to break this cycle and make progress in your music production career at a different level. So this up here represents you. This is you doing your best in life. I'm gonna draw you some muscles. And then this down here represents you doing your worst. Once you start making progress up here, your mind puts this wall of resistance right there so that you just snap back down to here. We know how this feels. Like, we know this on an emotional level, bro. To break this cycle and see your music as actually good and make progress in your music production career at a higher level, you're going to have to register up here as your new standard. This is now your new standard on how you see your music, how you produce, the progress you're making, etc. Once you hit the wall of resistance to be creative and make music, you push through this. Set this as your new standard. We know that our mind is putting this in place so that you can't go past it because it wants you to snap back down to here. So here's the thing. Once you break through this wall it goes up like this. It goes up a little bit more. And now that this is your new standard for being grateful for your music, for how you see your music and how your production is going, instead of this dropping all the way down here, it just drops down maybe about right there. Now this is a lot higher because this is where your standard is for your music. And if you keep pushing through this wall, it's just going to keep going up and up. You can probably think of a ton of situations this happens in. If you're an athlete, if you're a teacher. For me, I'm a music production teacher, obviously, and I sound design for sample packs that I sell. I've done that for the past 2 years. This is where I would see myself. Oh, your teaching sucks. All your knowledge is completely invalid. Your music sucks. All of that stuff. Those are the limiting beliefs I had. Once I registered my new standard up here, this is how I started to see myself. And luckily, in the past few months, I was able to push through this wall and go even higher, if that makes sense. Now, to push through this wall and break that resistance, it's going to be painful. I mean, why do you think it's usually the moments that you're most uncomfortable that you grow the most? This is exactly what it is. And then your self-image gets upgraded. You start to see your music as better, constantly breaking and rebuilding and setting new standards and creating amazing music, because our music is not the highest you can imagine. It's the lowest you can accept. And I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but we know that's how this works. If you genuinely believe that you make bad music, you're going to make bad music every single time. Even if it sounds good to other people, you're going to think it's bad. I like to just kind of visualize all of us producers working on our mental health, doing all that stuff so that we can make better music, because that is what allows you to be more creative, because our brain is working better. It destroys limiting beliefs. I know deep down that's what a lot of producers need. And the reason for that is because I needed that. But if we don't do this, if we don't keep improving and pushing through resistance and destroying all these limiting beliefs, then we're basically sacrificing our music production goals, if you really think about it. I genuinely hope this video helped you. I literally do not take any sponsors just so I can make these videos. So if you want to, please subscribe. I want to retire my parents and that would help me. And if you hate me, if you think this video was a waste of time, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Make music now and you'll thank yourself later. Peace. Wait. Peace.